All right, I've got Peter Lynch with me today. He is a registered CPA, president of his own holistic retirement planning practice, Peter Lynch Inc. And he's also a longtime White Glove seminar host. He recently began using the social impression management system, White Glove Social Connect, to supplement some of his seminar efforts, and he's going to tell us a bit about his experience. How are you doing today, Peter?
Doing great. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, happy to have you. So as a financial professional using Social Connect, to give our viewers just a little bit clearer idea of what it's all about, your clients and your prospects in your email list, as well as your social media networks, have been getting customized newsletters and relevant news articles with all of your name and branding attached to them. And from what you've said so far, it sounds like you're getting some really positive feedback and new phone calls because of it. Would you mind sharing what some of that positive feedback has sounded like?
A lot of it was direct, right to the point. Clients especially said, thank you so much for being current, being relevant, and keeping us up to date, in virtual world, right? So this was happening, it was hard to stay in touch with our clients, staying in front of them. Social Connect has made it so much easier for us now because they're getting these consistent newsletters, consistent feeds from us, and we get a lot of likes on it. We have a lot of people respond on my email saying, hey, that was a great article. And they'll tell us what article it was. So from the client's point of view, it's been really, really good keeping that relationship going, during this virtual world that we haven't been able to meet with as many clients as we normally do.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we're all busier than ever during these crazy times, especially this year. In the previous conversations that you and I have had, you said that particularly the newsletters are something that really stood out to your network. Would you mind telling me a little bit more about that?
I think the relevancy of the articles it actually surprised me as well when we launched this. I mean, these are very current. I mean, right now it's been about election and not taking a side either way, but just, hey, whoever you're voting for or not voting for, this is what we're seeing. This is what may happen. This is what may not happen. And our clients have responded by saying, hey, I really appreciate that because it's so easy to get into the sides of it, right? These articles are great, and they're from national publications that are out there, but there's only so much you can do on your phone, right? After a while, you have to put it down. But Social Connect brings all those together, the Barron's and the Wall Street Journal, and puts it together in one place where it's easy for our clients to get to. And again, of the articles they attach, one or two of them usually resonate with our clients, and it's usually very current, and it's usually before. This is the first time they're hearing of some of these, whether it's year-end tax strategies, whether it's a tax situation, if so-and-so gets in, what's going to change on there. So from that point of view, it's been very, very helpful. And it's been the first time they've heard this. So it's really very current, which I was surprised that it was going to be that current. I thought it was going to be a little bit more of retread articles that have been out there that everybody's seen already, but they're really on the cutting edge, which is nice.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about removing that paywall from your network so they can get those very relevant, very new articles. And like you said, seeing things for the very first time, that really does position you as a thought leader within, your digital networks, and even it could have some impact within your community as a thought leader. Would you say that Social Connect has helped made that impact for you?
I think it's continue to solidify our relationship with our current clients. The prospects, it's been very helpful because we were doing a lot of taxes and retirement seminars with White Glove, and they take a long time by the time you do the seminars, and then the clients finally come in, and then there's usually about 3 or 4 meetings before we actually onboard them as clients. And those 3 or 4 meetings, depending upon the client schedules, could span over a few months. So we had a lot from the end of last year that were rolled into this year, and then COVID came, and then we were at meeting 1, maybe meeting 2, and then we just could not get them across the finish line. And we had sent some stuff out to them because we had their emails, but this has really helped because it's really again, the current relevant information. And it also solidifies our position because of the topics. It wasn't just about tax, right? It wasn't just about retirement or asset allocation or investments or insurance, whatever it might be. It was a lot of different topics that were in there that were being covered. And I think the clients, the prospects really appreciated that wow, it's a nice way of telling them that we work with this stuff without telling them that we do this stuff, whether it might be long-term care or social security planning or Medicare planning or tax plan, whatever it might be, instead of us telling them that we specialize in this, and this, for them to get the articles and for us to be sending it to them, it's kind of like, oh, I didn't know you did that. So we had a few people call us about legal issues, which was nice because, you know, I'm not an attorney, but we have attorneys that we work with, just updating powers of attorney, updating living wills. I mean, everything with COVID and getting in and out of a hospital was pretty critical. They wanted to just double check, do we have it? Do we don't have it? Should we update this? Can you help me out with it? I was the first call, which is great, right? I shouldn't be the first call on legal issues, but because of some of the content that was being sent out, I was, which is great. Puts me in that perfect position to quarterback their financial plan and then bring my attorney in. And again, we have to do a lot of this stuff online. So we grab the information we need, send it to the attorney, he'd send it back and forth. And we were able to help expedite some of those updated legal documents that some of the clients needed during a really difficult time for some of them.
That's fantastic news. I'm happy for you and your attorney.
Yeah.
I bet they were very appreciative of
My
that.
attorney was really loving it, right? Oh, okay, send it over. Here's my bill. Like, thanks. You do all the work and I'll pay. Yeah. So I'm sure he loved it.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, I guess with all of that considered, it's all very exciting stuff. Would you say that you have one specific favorite feature of Social Connect?
I like the data. Like I'm a numbers person anyway. So, and as a CPA, just analyzing stuff. So every week we get the data and we get the updates and it's really cool. And I'm looking at it like, wow, look at all this. But then I had to get Gina, who's our contact on that, and be like, Gina, what does this mean? So she had to explain all the numbers to, but you can tell when things are trending in a certain direction. And obviously the first couple of times we did it, there was no data to really go back on. It was a small sample size. But now we've had about, I think we're into our 3rd month now. And it's really amazing because in speaking with her, she's like, wow, I was looking at your data. What happened? You guys have a huge spike in this, a huge spike in that. So it's really neat because our team has been doing a lot because of the Social Connect. They've been doing a lot more LinkedIn, a lot more Facebook activity, getting stuff out there. You know, we're posting stuff on our own just to have relevant content on there. I guess somehow to change the algorithm or something within some of these social media sites. So it's not just, we're not just forwarding information. So because of that, we're seeing this trend, you know, so up is usually pretty good, except if it's complaints, I guess, right? So, so the data is pretty neat. So every week, that's something that I kind of focus on. And yeah, then the big question is, what does it mean? Like how does that relate to our business? So all the people that are opening these newsletters or forwarding them, you know, how do we then grab them and bring them in and solidify our position as thought leaders in our community? So that's the part that we're working on now. So it's really been pretty powerful, and it's behind the scenes because it's happening. We don't have to do a lot of work on this. And I had somebody else call me interested in the Social Connect, and they said, well, you know, I don't want to get tied into just dealing with all this stuff. I'm not a marketer. I don't want to do all this stuff. I said, you can do as little or as much as you want. I'm fortunate because I have some young people on my team that this is all they do, right? Hey, if we change this, if we change that, I'm like, knock yourself out. So they've been able to increase our opens, increase our looks, increase our visibility on some of these social media sites. And my hardest part is, you know, going on LinkedIn on a regular basis because I don't normally do it, but I'm getting comments all the time. Hey, somebody commented, somebody sent you a note, and a lot of it's coming from LinkedIn, which is kind of amazing with that. So we haven't really had a whole lot of success with that in the past, but a lot of our success with Social Connect is coming through LinkedIn.
Well, I'm grinning ear to ear. This is excellent news. And, you know, it's doing what it's intended to do. It lets you take a step back. And it sounds like you and your team are really working it. You're supplementing where you realize that you can and really just maximizing those efforts. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time and filling me in on your experience with Social Connect. And I'm really excited to check back in with you in the next few months and see how it's been going through the holidays.
I appreciate you asking me. Yeah, it was my pleasure. Yeah, if it's working, it's working. So hopefully it does the same. And again, I don't know if it's the area of the country where I'm at or my community or my, you know, our book of business that we have, our emails, but I can't imagine the relevant content is still the relevant content. So it's going to get in the right hands no matter where you're doing this, I would think. So
that's the goal. And the data will tell. The data will tell the story.
Love that data.